full-time MMA?
MMA.
Nothing
Yeah.
else?
My life, man, yeah.
Or is this full-time MMA now?
I love full-time MMA right now.
Back to the daily grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back pickle biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time
MMA.
Dana White saying who he thinks the next huge star, the next crossover star, the next Conor McGregor, the next Ronda Rousey, the next John Jones. Dana White has his guy. And I mean, okay, let me give you a little history on my history with Cody Garbrandt, on where I am. I'm a huge fan of Cody Garbrandt. I'm probably a little bit bigger of a fan of TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw is my dude. I like the fact that TJ Dillashaw, you know, he's like the underdog a little bit. He gets skipped over. He lost a close title fight, didn't get his rematch, still had to fight two #1 contenders. Now he's finally getting his title shot versus Cody No Love Garbrandt. Cody No Love Garbrandt put himself on my radar, what was it, 3 fights ago? He knocked out Thomas Almeida. Thomas Almeida was undefeated at the time, 21-0. Cody Garbrandt was like 10-0. They were both undefeated. I was watching that fight. It was like a Fox Sports 1 main event card or some shit. Cody Garbrandt knocked him the fuck out. I said, yo, this nigga's got KO power, tatted up like Conor McGregor. He could be the motherfucking next American Conor McGregor. Holy shit, he's got to knock some dudes out, some more dudes out like Conor. But holy fuck, who is this Cody Garbrandt kid? I didn't know who he was at that time, but I was like, holy shit, he's got that star power. I mean, you could just see it. I mean, it's not just the tattoos, but I mean, that is something similar to Conor McGregor. But also, I mean, he showed he's got some good trash talk, and he's got the look, he's got the it factor, whatever the fuck you want to say. He's white. No, I'm just playing. John Jones. Remember I named John Jones earlier. I'm just kidding. It was a fucking joke. By the way, speaking of jokes, I've been watching the fucking roast battle on YouTube, and like, what's it called? Actually, it's not the roast battle. It's the roast masters. Oh my god, this is literally my new life, you guys. Not my new life, but you get the point. It's so fucking good. It's like battling. It's like if you don't know what the roast battles is, that's not what this is about. But it's pretty fucking epic. I've been watching that shit. Like after I got off work last night, I was hella tired. I just like went upstairs and watched that shit. But now I got to get back to the grind before work. But still, Cody Garbrandt, he's got that fucking potential, man. Now after I've became okay, whenever I first seen him knock out Thomas Almeida, since then I've kind of started to like his personality less. He's still the same dope ass. I've started to like his fighting more, but his personality less. That's just me personally. The thing I don't like about, and it's not even like something just super, it's not like he's just a shitty person. I don't know what it is, if it's just like it comes off as a little bit forced or something, the shit he says sometimes. I don't know what it is, but I mean, he's young, he's got time to learn. I don't know what it is about Cody Garbrandt, but I don't know if it's I mean, I watched him on the Ultimate Fighter season. It could have came from that, because he had the whole Ultimate Fighter season with TJ Dillashaw. But anyways, let's continue down the line. After he knocked out Thomas Almeida, he went down in rankings. Like, Thomas Almeida was ranked like 6, and he knocked him out. So it's like, okay, it's time for Cody Garbrandt to fight someone in the top 5, right? No, he fought like ranked 13 after that, which is interesting. You usually don't see fighters knock out like a guy in the top 6 and then go to fight somebody outside the top 10, but that happened for Cody Garbrandt. So, and he knocked that guy out as well, Takeya Mizugaki. So I was like, okay, but he's not going to get a title shot off of this because he fought down in rankings. But much to my surprise, he actually got a title shot off of that. So I only seen him knock out 2 guys in the UFC, and then he got his title shot. Maybe that's also kind of why I was like, come on, man, they're like skipping the line here. I know that's what they do with people like Conor McGregor and fucking, you know, some of these guys, they don't have to fucking clear out the division to get their title shots. If you have a chance at being very marketable or very a crossover superstar, then you kind of get a break when it comes to the matchmakers. I mean, I've heard some of the other MMA journalists and fighters talk about this, like, how do you, like, when they're talking about a prospect, how do you think this prospect's going to do in the UFC? They say, well, it depends on if the matchmakers feed him to the wolves or if they give him favorable matchups. Kind of like Gokhan Saki. He's a kickboxer. He's just now coming over to MMA later in his career, but it's like, if they let him fight strikers, then he'll probably be a little more. I think that's exactly who they were talking about in that thing. They were asking Alistair Overeem about Gokhan Saki. They said if he gives him favorable matchups, I think we'll see him do well. But if they throw him to the wolves and give him a guy that's just going to take him down or you know, submit him, his career might not go as well as it could. if he fought a bunch of guys that were either coming off of losses or, you know, strikers, because he's clearly going to win the striking exchange as a kickboxer. But if you got a guy like when Randy Couture fought James Toney that's coming in there to take you down, it's going to be a little harder road for you. And that was the thing with Conor McGregor for me. When it first started, people called me a Conor McGregor nut hugger and all that shit. Now I don't really care because I know the fucking truth. I'm objective as fuck on this shit when it comes to actual MMA. But whenever I first found out about Conor, and I forgot who it was. It was after Dennis Siver. It was like before Chad. It was like before Jose Aldo. Whatever fight Conor McGregor fought right before Jose Aldo was whenever Conor McGregor got put on my radar. Who was it? Chad Mendez, somebody, but you get the point. Whenever he got put on my radar, I was like, who is this dude? You know, everybody in the fucking world is talking about him. Like, I looked up his record, I did the research, I'm like, okay, but who has he fought on his UFC resume? Whenever I first found out about Conor, he had not fought Chad Mendez, he had not fought Eddie Alvarez, he had not fought Nate Diaz, he had not fought Floyd Mayweather. Like, the highlight on his career was literally like Dennis Siver, I promise. If you go to like Conor McGregor's first 10 fights, like the biggest name that stuck out to me was Dennis Siver. So I was like, how is this guy the biggest name in MMA and he's only like fought Dennis Siver? But that goes to what we were talking about. If you get your favorable matchups, you might even be able to build a win streak. It takes somebody like Max Holloway or Tony Ferguson, because to me, they kind of got thrown to the wolves. They didn't get their most favorable matchups. I could be incorrect, but I just know when you're a well-rounded fighter, there's not really a wolf you can get thrown to. Now, Conor McGregor, we've seen him defend some takedowns and shit, but I'm just saying, someone like Conor McGregor or Gokhan Saki early in their career, if the matchmaker lets them fight guys that they can strike with a little bit, it's going to help their career grow. So if you see a person like a Paige Van Zandt or a Cody Garbrandt, as Dana White is saying, that could be a huge star, it makes sense to kind of let them skip the line a little bit. And more for Cody Garbrandt, because he knocked out two dudes and then got a title shot over TJ Dillashaw, who just lost his belt in a close fight. You know, Dana White comes out when he's talking about Luke Rockhold, and he's like, how do you deserve another title shot? You just got knocked out. Well, TJ Dillashaw, let's use that exact same logic and flip it around. He didn't get knocked out. Actually, it was a close decision. So that means he does deserve a rematch, right? I guess not, because not only did he not get his immediate rematch, but he also beat a #1 contender at UFC 200. So it was on a big card, in front of a lot of people, fought at UFC 200, #1 contender TJ Dillashaw, beat the #1 contender, still didn't get his title fight. It's like, what? So he could have got a rematch just from losing his belt in a close fight. Now he beat a #1 contender, so he definitely gets the fight, right? No, TJ Dillashaw got skipped again, and I was like, whoa, what's going on, bro? I like this dude, TJ Dillashaw. Come on, why is he getting skipped? Then he beats another #1 contender, John Lineker, and they're like, all right, now there's no way he's getting skipped, right? And it's like, Cody Garbrandt goes to the post-fight press conference like, hey, Dominic Cruz, you want a fucking immediate rematch? It's like, no, TJ's over there, bro, come on. Me, at that point, that's what's making me more and more of a TJ fan. Like, why is my nigga getting skipped? He's deserved this title shot for multiple fights. Now he's beat two #1 contenders, lost a close fight when he lost his belt, and you're talking about immediate rematch with Dominic Cruz. That low-key personally made me feel like, does Cody Garbrandt not want no smoke with TJ Dillashaw, or is he just trying to shit on him, you know, because they got that history, that Team Alpha Male beef. Fuck you, you know, you was a champion for Team Alpha Male, then you left camps once you got the belt, blue. So maybe he's like, man, I'm not giving him an opportunity at this title shot, whether he deserves it or not. Fuck that dude. You know, could have been it. But me personally feeling like TJ Dillashaw has to get the next title fight, my first thought was, hey, is he ducking TJ? But I mean, we've heard that Cody Garbrandt like knocked out TJ Dillashaw in sparring. I mean, we've never seen the video, which is, I don't know if we ever will, but I really don't care if you knock somebody out in sparring, bro. I mean, I would rather see somebody probably get knocked out in sparring than amateurs. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if TJ got knocked out in sparring, somebody might have been going, somebody might have been not sparring correctly, because who was I just watching? Demetrius Johnson, greatest fighter of all time, said, hey, I spar with the right people. We don't go full 100% on headshots. To the body, 100%. To the legs, 100%. All of that shit, 100%. But when we're sparring, our headshots are the only thing that's not 100%. We're not trying to take extra brain damage. So what the fuck was Cody Garbrandt doing? Because back then, whenever he would have knocked TJ Dillashaw out, he was a name. It was before even the fucking Thomas Almeida fight. So with that being said, why are you, somebody that doesn't have a name for yourself, going that hard in sparring with somebody who does? TJ Dillashaw is already a staple in the bantamweight division. You're a newcomer. What the fuck are you knocking this dude out in sparring for? Could you imagine if some fucking guy went to Demetrius Johnson's spar with Demetrius Johnson and knocked him out? Get the fuck out of my gym, bro. What are you doing? Nigga, what? That's crazy. So that. I mean, for one, I don't think you should be going that hard on headshots and sparring to knock your partner or your teammate out. For two, you don't release fucking video of what happens in sparring. For three, TJ Dillashaw could have not been taking it serious because it was sparring. So that knockout to me, I really don't give a fuck about. But what about the knockout of Cody Garbrandt in amateurs? I've seen that quite a few times. People be sharing that. Cody Garbrandt got smoked in amateurs, knocked out cold like he knocks out dudes. I mean, in that fight, you are supposed to go 100%. You are supposed to fucking have your guard up at all times, expect somebody trying to take your head off, and they still did it. So that's part of the reason, like, as a person, I'm a more fan of a TJ, because I feel like he's getting his name dragged through the mud, he's getting skipped, all this bullshit. I mean, but maybe it's because he's not as marketable. But this is the thing to me, as just some fucking broke ass mixed dude, I don't know what it takes to be marketable. I know talking trash helps, which Cody Garbrandt has done a little bit, but it's not like he's on fucking Conor McGregor or Kevin Lee's level. Somebody just got mad. But you get the, I mean, so is it the tattoos? That's my real question. Cause I'm somebody, I don't got fucking many tattoos. Actually, I don't got fucking no tattoos. My brother's got one and shit. I mean, I was super close to getting one night at a fucking tattoo party I was throwing. But at the same time, is that what it is with TJ Dillashaw? Because when you look at, if you just stood them up side by side, what's the fucking difference? TJ's got blonde hair and Cody Garbrandt's got 100,000 tattoos like McGregor. So maybe maybe that's what it is. Maybe TJ Dillashaw needs to go get 2 full sleeves and a fucking full chest tat, and then he'll stop getting skipped over. I mean, maybe is it because he's not talking trash? Maybe it's, I've never really considered how much tattoos plays a part into being marketable. I mean, I do know it's 2017 and tattoos are like in. I mean, maybe they're even starting to go out. I don't know. But I just know personally, whenever they started having all that fuck ink my whole body, I don't give a motherfuck, all them stupid ass songs and all these people with fucking face tattoos and shit getting huge, I'm like, oh fuck. That, me personally, I haven't ever followed that fucking, but I understand it. I do think tattoos are pretty dope. But I don't know how it plays into marketing. But to me, it seems like it plays into a lot. Because look at Conor McGregor. And this is huge praise coming from Dana White, yo. Dana White coming out and saying you have potential to be the next huge thing. Yo, he's fighting fucking TJ Dillashaw. For Dana White to say this, bro, and him to be fighting TJ Dillashaw coming up, it's like, yo. Dana White also, bro, I was just reading an article. He said, I'm not putting my eggs in any baskets anymore. Well, you just put hella pressure on Garbrandt, my dude. Because I'm like, what if he loses? Because in my head, he's going to lose to Garbrandt. Garbrandt's like, you know, I'm rooting for Garbrandt, I'll say that. And I think Garbrandt might be the most well-rounded, might be more overall a better fighter than Cody Garbrandt. I don't know, but I haven't seen enough of Cody Garbrandt's fights. And, I mean, 2 of the 3 Cody Garbrandt's fights I really paid attention to were fucking knockouts. Thomas Almeida. But the one thing I will say, the thing kind of like when Conor McGregor fought Chad Mendez and then Nate Diaz, and I was like, okay, it's time to start fucking easing up. It's time to start giving that man his fucking respect. He just beat the wrestler I said that they were, you know, letting him kind of avoid. He didn't have to fight no real wrestlers. Fucking, I'm here to fucking take you down dudes till Chad Mendez, really. Then he fought Eddie Alvarez, you know, and Nate Diaz. I was like, okay, he beat all these dudes now, man. Give the dude his fucking respect. So maybe that'll happen with me whenever Cody Garbrandt beats TJ Dillashaw, because what he did to Dominic Cruz, that already made me say, okay, he's not just a knockout artist. Anybody that can make Dominic Cruz look like that is fucking great. So that's why I feel like Cody Garbrandt's actually a rightful champion and deserves everything he's got right now, because of what he did to Dominic Cruz. It wasn't just a quick knockout, which would have left a little bit of questions still unanswered. No, he outclassed this dude in a 5-round fight and was dancing on his ass in the middle of the fight, yo. That was insane. That's why Cody Garbrandt, to me, is the real deal. Before he beat Dominic Cruz like that, I was kind of iffy on him. But right now, I do believe he's the rightful champion, and he does have a potential to knock out TJ Dillashaw, because we have seen TJ Dillashaw dropped by John Dodson. It might have been a little bit of an early stoppage, but he did get dropped, lose his fucking legs, and sit down for a second. Put on his ass for a quick second by John Dodson. And to me, I mean, they're not the exact same fighter, of course, but John Dodson and Cody Garbrandt, both small dudes that'll knock your ass out. I mean, come on, it can happen. So, if Cody Garbrandt knocks out TJ Dillashaw, I do believe he's about to turn in to the fucking next big thing, because then it's on to super fights. Then it's Cody Garbrandt versus Demetrius Johnson out of his weight class. If he loses, it's like, oh, the weight cut hurt me. You know, that's Demetrius Johnson's division. He's the greatest of all time. You kind of got a built-in excuse if you lose to Demetrius Johnson. Kind of like anybody has a built-in excuse when they move weight divisions and lose. It's like, oh, the weight cut was just too much, or, you know, I just couldn't do it because those guys at that weight class were just too big for me. Or like whatever the reason, if you're moving up and down divisions, it kind of gives you an excuse. So once you're on the top of the game and then you start moving weight classes, you're kind of going to stay on top, kind of like Conor. You fucking become the champ, or even if you lose to Nate Diaz, you're already on top. So, I went up to 170, you know, he was more efficient with his energy, 170 pounds, he's a giant, you kind of got a built-in excuse because it's not your weight class. Same if one of these dudes goes down to 125. We all know whose weight class that is, and it's not theirs. It's Demetrius Johnson's. So with that being said, man, Dana White's saying TJ Dillashaw could be the potential next huge superstar, and he is right. I mean, I don't know anyone else he's got his eye on, but in my head, I mean, as far as somebody that can become the champion, I'm not talking about like Mike Perry or Paige Van Zandt or any of these people that have people that like them. I'm not talking about the fan favorites. I'm talking about the fan favorites that can actually become a champion, that are actually top 2, top 3 fighters in their division, that can actually keep up with their division if need be. Cody Garbrandt can do that. Not only is he marketable, but he's also won the championship already. It's not like a guy like Mike Perry or a girl like Paige Van Zandt, who, you know, everybody likes him, but we still need to see if you can beat the top 5 guys, or if you can even win the belt, or whatever the fuck. Cody Garbrandt's already got past that stage. So I do think if there's anyone, when you're talking about a crossover star, now I'm not just talking about somebody with a lot of fans or a fan favorite, I'm talking about big star, crossover star. Cody Garbrandt's probably the next guy up. I mean, I can't think of anybody else that's got the, it would have been Kevin Lee if he didn't lose to Tony Ferguson. So with that being said, man, Cody Garbrandt's up at UFC 217. We'll see how he does versus TJ Dillashaw. I will admit I'm gonna low-key be rooting for TJ Dillashaw, but if Cody Garbrandt wins, I'll be happy with it. It's not like I hate Cody Garbrandt. I'm just a big fan of TJ Dillashaw. I feel like he's been getting skipped. So if Cody Garbrandt wins, man, much fucking power to him. Hopefully he takes the game by storm and he can do what Conor's done and fucking get all this money, get his money. Make super fights, become a champ, do what he needs to do. I do like Cody Garbrandt. Do not get that fucked up. He is one of my favorite fighters. I just tend to root for the underdog, and I kind of been seeing what's going on with TJ Dillashaw, so I'm rooting for the dude. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the hitters know what the fuck you tab at in the comments. I'm out. The dudes hating on the full-time family are the type of dudes that look their barber in the eyes for the whole haircut.
Bye, Felicia.